Let's be real, 99% of the transactions have at least one small hiccup that your real estate agent has to handle. And a lot of times we handle it without you even knowing that we handled it because we've hidden it from them, try to make their, transactions smooth and happy.
Amy, thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Been a little while. Supposed to come to Texas. Try to make it once a year. Didn't make it this year. We owe a party to each other next time I come, which will hopefully
Now you owe us 2 visits, actually.
Exactly. Is that how it works? I think so. No, but listen, it's great to hear from you. Great to see you. Look, a lot of times we're hearing these markets, doomsday, tough market sucks. You guys are a growing team. You're doing better this year than you did last year. How do you pull it off?
We are. We're thrilled to do a little bit better this year than we did last year. Some people say we added teammates, but we added a teammate late in the season. And so getting her up and running has been a little bit slow for a new agent. But I think this year it's just about staying consistent. And then for us, it's all about using your database. It's who you know, and who loves you. I mean, you just have to go with those people that are tried and true, that have been your clients for a while. And if you're new, then going with people who already know you, love you, trust you, and utilizing that. We've never been a big fan of buying leads. Those have never been good leads. But I feel like just staying consistent, doing the open houses, doing the calls, doing the mailers, doing all the things that we know to do, and doing those on repeat and automatically are what really help you stay consistent.
You talk about leads. I've been seeing in the news kind of the Zillow and the class action, and the agents are being involved. Hold into this. What's your take on that whole situation? Do you know anyone that's involved in that?
I do. They're very sad, or angry would be a good word that they are. But at this point, I'm thankful we did not buy into that. I'm thankful we kind of just stayed the course of what we know to be true. And so I'm just glad to not be a part of that. I feel bad for them that, they're getting eaten up by the big people. But I do think if you do the things that you know to do and stay kind of in your grassroots, you'll still be successful.
How large is the team these days? You're still growing. I think you're still looking for the right people to add to your team. Is that right?
Yeah, we have 10 agents right now, 2 full-time assistants, and then a VA who's been awesome addition to our team this year, and then a social media person and a stager. So, we run between 14 and 15, but 10 agents for sure. We'd always looking to add 1 or 2 more agents, but, we like to keep it tight and develop our culture. Culture is the main thing for us, is keeping our culture strong, and we're more like family than just a team that's running together and doing business together. So finding somebody who fits that culture and who can handle, doing all the things that we do and run with us is very important.
Nice. VAs, something we added a few years ago. It's been great for our business. We do a lot of marketing, video stuff. Where'd you find your VA?
So I actually found it through a friend, and we tried some of the bigger companies and just didn't get the personalized attention that I felt like we needed to get a VA up and running. And so this one's been really great. And we went through 2 to get to him. And so once you find one, you got to hang on to him forever. But I also realize it's more about training them correctly and training them the way you want to do things instead of letting the company train them. And that's been key also.
No, it makes a lot of sense. I agree. And same thing for us. It took us a few people to find the right person. But when you do find the right person, game changer for sure.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
One thing that's really cool that you guys do, Lippincott Loves, give back to the community through your 501(c)(3). Tell me a little bit about that.
So I was a teacher for 16 years previously. So when I got out of teaching, I promised that I would always give back to my fellow educators. And so I know the issues that they have. They, eat lunch for 30 minutes only, and that includes going to the bathroom and making a phone call that they might need to make. I know that they, struggle to get supplies in and things like that. And so we developed 501(c) called Lippincott Loves. That's basically just to give back to educators and our community. So we utilize that to give the teachers snacks or provide them lunch or hand sanitizer or do events for them. One time we took them some iced tea after, a long day at school, things like that. So it's been a great way for us to give back. And it's been a great way for our vendors and some people who need tax write-offs to be involved and to give to a good charitable organization. We've also given out 4 scholarships at the end of every year to our local high school. And that has been really exciting to watch that evolve.
It's awesome. I have 3 kids. They're in school. We're always talking, my wife and I are talking about how hard it is for these teachers.
It is.
You're teaching all day. You're not done when school ends up. You got to do the homework. You got to get all the stuff prepared. Tell me about that career.
It was a great career. I loved every minute of it. I taught elementary PE, so I had all the kids, and throughout the day, I got to see all the brothers and sisters, meet all the moms and dads and all those things, and teach them consistently from kinder through 5th. So sometimes I would have a kid for 6 years. So I felt really close to them, really close to their families. It was a great career. But as time went on, you do the same thing over and over and over. And we'd change the program as much as we can to change with doing things for STAR tests that were incorporated in PE, teaching them about the bones and muscles and nutrition, and always trying to make it current and consistent with what was going on in the community right then. But I just needed something different after doing it for 16 years. And my current principal that I loved with all my heart, she was leaving. And so it was a good time to move out. She let me job share for a year, which meant that I taught Monday, Wednesday, every other Friday. And then another teacher co-taught with me on Tuesday, Thursdays, every other Friday. So that was great. And then I was looking for something that would let me utilize those skills that I had from teaching, and real estate is the perfect transition. And so I did that. And my husband's like, if you can make your teaching salary, then you can quit. So I did that in the first year and was ready to move on and do something exciting. And my teacher community has been amazing supporting me in this career.
That's awesome. It's a relationship game, right? And so I'm assuming many of those relationships, parents, teachers of the kids became clients. Is that one day? Is that right?
Yes, I have kids that I'll go back to, list their house, and their babies are now sitting in my lap, or they're calling me coach, or, Miss Lippincott. I'm like, you can just call me Amy now. It's okay. No, it's fun to see those families and still keep in touch with a lot of them.
Love it. What shift in the Houston market is no one talking? What's something that's kind of happening, shifting, no one's really talking about?
So I feel like more and more people aren't shopping by just the price range. They're asking different questions now, where before they would be like, well, I can afford, $425. Now they're saying I can afford a $1,700 month, note. And that includes taxes and insurance. And they're getting all that information before they go shopping, which has been really great. Before they were just going out saying, oh, I can afford this, but not comparing it to what neighborhood they were in. Maybe a master plan community has different taxes or different amenities or different HOAs. But now they're going into it more prepared, knowing all those numbers before they go shopping and not having surprises about what they can't afford. So I feel like people are more shopping about their monthly note now than just price range.
You're at EXP. I believe you recently spoke at the EXP Level Up. Is that correct?
I did. It was really fun.
Tell me about that experience. Tell me about the conference or the event.
So I got to speak with two awesome ladies, and that was really fun. Kind of had some girl power up on the stage and talking about how we develop teams differently and how everybody does things basically for their market. And so that's exciting to always hear. The most consistent thing we heard was that open houses still work if you do them correctly. But I thought it was really cool plug for EXP that they got Leo out there, Leo Parada, which is our CEO of EXP, out to make a really great speech about what all things are going on in EXP and keep us up to date on the current trends and what things are happening, because I feel like EXP is always at the forefront of everything that's going on. So it's great to hear it from the actual person who's up there doing all the developing. And then we got to talk to Tony King. So they just had some big hitters come out from EXP that we got to hear from. And it was really great because it's just for our downline area. You can invite whoever you wanted also. But it's really cool to see how many big teams and how many big hitters are now a part of EXP that left other brokerages to come, because EXP is so good at keeping things moving and at keeping expenses low and making the benefits back to the agents.
I agree. Just got pretty unlucky with COVID. But I think one of the smart models about the virtual brokerage is you don't have millions and millions of dollars in office, right? And that money can go back to the agents. At the end of the day, people are looking at their bottom line. And I think it makes a lot more sense. I think it's a good long-term strategy.
Yeah, it's been great for us for sure. It's the best move we ever made, for money, for agents being able to grow their own wealth and leave a legacy for their kids. When you can buy stock at a discounted rate and it comes automatically out of your check, or you get stock given to you for doing things for the company or for just going to a conference, like that's unheard of. And so I'll just be honest, I opened my stock account after I'd been there about 18 months and I had $70,000 in stock. I hadn't even looked at it one time. I almost started crying. I was like, oh my gosh, wow, this is insane. Unheard of. I called Jimmy Franklin. I was like, thank you for inviting me to come over here. Like, this is amazing for my family. So it's really cool stuff.
No, that's awesome. I'm a believer in the stock. I actually purchased DXP and Rio stock because I like virtual model. Look, we've had a tough market, the last few years, but some people are thriving, Allied Title, yourself, no bigs. But I do think there's, with all cyclical industries, real estate's been beaten up a little bit. So we're gonna see a better market in the coming years. I think the stocks could do really well. So that's why I did that. And I like the virtual model.
Yeah, I do too. It's been great. I think a lot of people, when I'm talking to them about it, because I'm not really pushy on it or, just to ask people if they're happy where they are. And a lot of times they are, they just don't know what else might be out there. But listening to people talk about situations they have, or I know where I came from, I did have a couple of people on my downline, but never ever did I get a check because our office wasn't profitable. So this is huge that it depends on me and EXP. It doesn't depend on our office being profitable or not. And I love that, not having to worry about that every month.
Very cool. We have, actually, no, I was going to tell you this. So you talked about Leo Perea. He actually was up in the DC, DMV area before he moved down to where he moved down. So I think Florida. He used to own a hard money lending company, and then he started Remine. So I've known him for a long time. I actually spoke to him a couple months ago, just caught up. It's been a long time. I like what he's doing. I mean, it's an exciting time for what you guys are up to. All right. So we've got a rapid fire section here. We're going to ask a few questions. Dream Houston neighborhood to live in.
Stallion Lakes, or anywhere with a country feel. Stallion Lakes is a custom community, and they have 5 to 10 acre lot, and it's just absolutely stunningly beautiful. And we could have our horses out there. Lots of fun stuff.
Biggest real estate pet peeve.
Agents that not only work part-time, but that don't respond to their text messages or phone calls in a timely manner. I get it if you have another job, but still make sure that job allows you to do your other job during that time. Because when they're called, like, I'll call you after 5 o'clock. No, we're working during the day, not just after 5 o'clock. And real estate's a timely career. You can't just wait on hours on answers.
So you mentioned open houses still work if you do them right, I believe you said. How do you do open houses the right way?
So I believe it starts early in the week, deciding that you're going to do an open house. It's all about the marketing. And so a lot of times sellers will ask me, do open houses work? I don't believe that open houses always bring a buyer to you. I believe it's mostly the benefit to the agent that's doing it. But I do believe the marketing is beneficial for our seller. We do lots of social media marketing. We do videos. We do door knocking. We put out flyers, send out personal invitations. We do targeted social media ads to people who we think might want to buy that house. We ask ChatGPT who might want to buy this house, and then we can target some of those people on our social media ads. And then we get our face out to usually 50 to 100 neighbors out and tell them what's happening. And people always want to know what's going on at the open house. How many people did you have come? How many showings have you had? Things like that. So it's always easier conversations. But, signage is getting harder. So you got to do more marketing. Lots of new laws coming out, right? But with the signage being a little bit harder and everyone being more careful there, you just have to try to make sure that it's really out there on social media that people can find it and grab it quickly.
You mentioned ChatGPT. Are you guys doing marketing with ChatGPT or any of the AI softwares yet?
We're doing our best to jump on board and dig in where we can. We are using it for lots of listing descriptions. We're using it to read some contracts. We're using it to show us holes in where our marketing is. So we're trying to use it as much as possible. We're watching all the classes that EXP has put out, about AI, and trying to jump on board and use it exactly where we need it to be. We're using it for our calendar, using it for some emails, things like that.
What's your favorite part of a real estate transaction?
Definitely when people find the house, their dream house, especially if they've been looking for a while and they find their dream house, and then you get to closing. And sometimes they may have lost one before, but I always tell them when you get to closing, there's always a reason. You can look back and say, okay, we didn't get that house because this perfect one was waiting for us with the perfect neighbors, with, the pool right beside us, or whatever they wanted. My very favorite part is when you get to hand them the keys and it's been a smooth, happy transaction.
A real estate myth you wish would go away.
That this is easy. Like, so many times people call me and say, I just want to make my own schedule, or I love looking at houses on HAR. That is not anything what this is about at all. This is about helping people get to where they need to be, and you're helping them with their biggest financial asset that they have and the biggest financial decision that they usually will ever make. And you're sometimes helping multiple people, and sometimes it's not happy. Sometimes it's sad. They're selling a house because they got divorced or someone passed away. So it's about the personal relationship. And so also, people don't have any boundaries of your time. So I have people text me at 10 o'clock at night and at 7 o'clock in the morning. And so realizing that, we have a new agent who just came on, and she did her first contract, and she called me the other day and she's like, wow, people just want you when they want you. I was like, yes, for sure, all day long. But that's what we're here for, and that is our job. And so there is, you can definitely put some boundaries on it. But the best part is when clients become friends.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think the other thing is, people, for whatever reason in the industry, you still hear people be like, I can't believe an agent makes that much money, but they just do not see the amount of work that is done.
I have no idea.
They see, oh, and they see, I found a house on Zillow, and and that's about it. How do you think we can educate consumers about all the work that is done? I mean, very much of what you just said right there. Hopefully, this podcast helps a little bit. The amount of time, there are no days off for you guys. You're working 7 days a week. There's, there's calls all the time. How do we educate these people? Should we make them be an agent for 6 months?
Yeah, it's just like I think everyone should have to do the military for 6 months. They respect our country. Everyone should have to be a realtor, or at least go through one real estate transaction. I feel like once you've done it and been through one transaction, you realize what your real estate agent does for you, especially if there were any hiccups. And let's be real, 99% of the transactions have at least one small hiccup that your real estate agent has to handle. And a lot of times we handle it without you even knowing that we handled it. And so when you get to the closing table, sometimes titles like, oh man, that seller was hard or that buyer was hard. A lot of times our people don't even know that because we've hidden it from them, try to make their, transaction smooth and happy. But yes, I feel like biggest problem is that people think this is easy. But what they don't see is like we have to pay taxes out of that. Then we have to pay our broker fees. And a lot of times if they're on a team, then they pay a team split. So sometimes the money they're actually getting is very small. They just don't realize it. I did a whole social media, video on, taking, here's what we make, here's what so-and-so takes, here's what so-and-so takes. This is what we're left with, this little tiny bit.
Yeah.
So I think just more people talking about it, and then just our community and real estate agents in general need to elevate themselves and prove to ourselves that we're not used car salesmen, or we're not, something that is to be made fun of, or something that we can just give our commission up. Because we have people ask all the time, we can just give me 1% of your commission. 1%, that's like sometimes 5 to 10 grand. That's a lot of money. In what other profession do you walk in and be like, hey, dentist, I want you to give me 5 grand? No one does that. So I feel like just trying to develop the respect of our career and making people realize how hard we do work for our money.
Well said. I agree with that. I see it all the time. And, obviously being in the industry, the amount of time and effort that goes into stuff, and it's not guaranteed that you're going to get a sale.
No, it is not.
What do you guys see for this upcoming year? We're around Christmas time. I was going to wear my Santa hat, but I didn't, for your own benefit. What are you seeing for this upcoming year?
I think it's going to be a great year. I think if interest rates will go down just a little bit, that'll push everybody off the fence. But I think, again, it goes back to the educating thing. When everybody gets off the fence, then house prices go up, and then you're in multiple offer situation, and you're waiving option fees, and you're doing things you should not be doing in a regular transaction. So I feel like the people that will actually listen to what's happening right now and actually listen to the advice that's been given by financial professionals all over the world, it's that now is the time to buy. To me, there's not really a bad time to buy real estate. It's all about how you buy it. So maybe getting with somebody who does more creative financing, if that's what you need, or actually getting with the right real estate broker and the right lender. A lot of times people are like, oh, I got my pre-approval from Rocket Mortgage online. And then you come to find out they're not really, pre-qualified for that, or they're with Chase Bank, or because that's where they've always been. I feel like you have to get with somebody who has a personal vested interest in what you're doing and will answer their cell phone on the weekend, will hold your hand the whole time. We do a lot of hand holding, and I like it that way because I want people to know what they're doing step by step.
I've heard about your tea business. Tell me about the tea business. What's going on there? How'd you get into that?
So we just have one. And so we went to Lubbock and we were at a horse show. We ride cutting horses, and we walked into an HTO, and my husband just fell in love. He thought it was the best thing ever. And we'd actually been there's one in Tomball out here by our house also. And so we love iced tea, and we started digging into the principles of it and the money of it and the people behind it. And we went and did a week-long training with them and just fell in love with the program. And so we decided, our son was graduating from college, and we asked him if he would come home and manage it. And he was thrilled and very excited to do that. So it's a true family business. He's our manager. We opened March 29th. So close to a year, doing really, really well. We had the best day we've ever had besides opening day, the day before Thanksgiving. So people were buying tea in droves for their Thanksgivings, which was great. Yeah, awesome. But we offered 27 flavors of iced tea. You can mix and match them any way you want. We have hot coffee, cold coffee. The coffees are amazing. Snacks, lots of merch. It's a fun place to come because you can try all the different flavors, and it's just a great environment to be in.
That's awesome. And finally, for those that don't know Houston, don't know the rodeo, where are you at on the world? Are you getting involved with the rodeo? How involved? What's your thoughts on it all? And help those people from across the country that don't know about the rodeo, what exactly it is.
So the Houston Rodeo is one of a kind, the best event that Houston has, in my opinion, because we're rodeo people. But you can see tons of good concerts. You can see tons of homegrown Texas people performing out at the Cook-Off. The Cook-Off is a 3-day event that you can go out to and go to all the different tents and try the world's best barbecue. But the rodeo itself, you can come and listen to performers, see all the different rodeo events. We participate in the cutting horse show. It's in the horse arena. My husband and my daughter both ride and show cutting horses, and that's a great time with our friends and family that are out there. We kind of travel with our cutting horse family around the world. So we get to be a part of all those fun things. But the rodeo is a one-of-a-kind experience that everyone needs to come out to. Absolutely.
And what time of the year? It goes on for quite a bit.
End of February to usually the first 2 weeks of March. Usually it tries to end right around spring break. So there's usually a good family day in there where everybody gets to go out for spring break too. But if you want to pet a horse, ride a horse, pet some sheep, lamb, cows, anything that we have out there, they can come experience. They do a good job of educating people on, how things are birthed and what's the progression of them growing and all those kind of things.
It's awesome. I have not been. I've heard about it, obviously. All our partners down there. Got to make it down there. Well, listen, it was great catching up with you. Thanks so much for coming on. You've been a great partner of ours and love seeing what you guys are up to. And thank you for all you do for us.
Absolutely. We're proud to be with y'all and thankful for everything that Allied Title does for us.